On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347875.
Hey guys, I'm Jenn. I'm a gamer, a photographer, and a longtime wrestling fan. Wrestling, especially women's wrestling, has truly evolved over time and is bigger than ever. I'm here to give my take on the world of wrestling, be it women, men, or whatever else is on my mind. Because if women in wrestling are being heard more, shouldn't women in wrestling podcasts be too? Welcome to Women Crush Wrestling! What's up, everybody? It's me, just Jenny, here with my boy Adam.
Greetings, women's wrestling fans. Jen, it's been a very exciting week for the two of us.
Yes.
More so for you, though.
Yes.
You want to tell them about the two big things that happened to you this week?
I got my full license.
Yay!
Yes, no more driving lessons.
Well, I mean, what's the big difference between the G2 and the G, though?
Is that it doesn't expire?
That's a big part of it.
Because when it expires, I have to do the whole system all over again. Your G, you got life until you're 80.
It ain't nothing but a G thing.
Yeah.
But like NWO, it's for life.
Yep, that's right.
Why do you think the NWO never had like a woman?
I don't know.
No, there's rumors.
They couldn't handle this sass.
There's rumor that they reached out to China before she signed with the WWF.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
To have her be part of the NWO.
I think that would have been cool.
Yeah. But, we got DX out of it, so.
That's true.
It's not all bad.
Is amazing.
Right. Pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
It's all right.
Pretty good.
It's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the other cool thing happening to you this week?
I want to meet Bailey.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, because tell them about how your package works.
So I got the option, I got a meet and greet option, and it was weird because the email's like, if you would like this option, fill out a form. And I was like, why wouldn't I want this option? It comes with my tickets. So I had to fill it out. I was between Bailey, the NXT champions, and they didn't list them because obviously there's a takeover the night before.
It will either be Shayna Baszler and blank, or it will be Adam Cole, baby, or blank.
Yeah.
So.
And then it was Rey Mysterio and
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Pretty good choices. Mm-hmm. But you said you basically could say, I would like this person.
Yeah.
But it wasn't guaranteed.
No.
They were going to send you a message saying, this is who you're going to meet. You're going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I would have cried.
But you might cry anyway.
That's true. I'm going to cry anyway because I'm
meeting
Bailey. Are you kidding? And when I told my husband, he was like, yeah, Hugger Nation. And then he loves Bailey, so that's good.
Well, I mean, it's hard not to like her. Mm-hmm. She's great. Mm-hmm. That's why we want to hug her.
I know. I don't know if I'll be allowed, but I get a picture with her.
So now are you going to get something signed and tattooed by Bailey?
They give you a picture that she signs.
Oh, okay.
For you, and then you get a picture.
You can take a picture with her.
Yeah.
You going to have Bailey hug your baby bump?
Oh, that's a good idea. I should get her to do that.
There you go.
I'm like, is this weird? Can you just hug my baby bump?
The answer is yes, but I will.
And then I don't know the gender of the baby. I won't know until next week. Mm-hmm. If it's a girl, I should just lie and say I'm going to name it Bailey, but really I don't.
Will you reveal the gender of your baby live on the podcast?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. There you go. There's a good buy-in right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you're wondering why you should stick around for this week's episode, Allysin K is on the program.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. The NWA Women's Champion, former Knockouts champion, and former NYC competitor, Mae Young Classic competitor last year, had one of the best matches in the whole tournament against Mia Yim. Mm-hmm. Man, oh man, like what a get this was. Big shout out to Jan Murphy and to Steve, you know who you are, over at Chinlock, who helped arrange this last minute interview for us. And of course, big thanks to Allysin K, Sienna herself, for sitting down and talking with us. It was huge. I was so happy to be a part of this.
Man, I love her.
She's great. She's
amazing.
Awesome, as you will hear in the interview. So let's not wait. Let's just jump right into it and take it away to Allysin K. Pinkies up. Wow. Life takes you in weird places. I totally didn't expect this interview to happen here today, but I'm so happy that I get to. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with the NWA Women's Champion. How did this happen? I don't know, but I'm so blessed to be sitting here with Allysin K. Allysin, thank you so much for being on Women Crush Wrestling.
Yes, thank you for having me. Don't forget, I'm also the Shine Women's Champion.
I couldn't forget that. Absolutely. You are so busy these days. I wanted to first talk about the NWA win because it it didn't come from out of nowhere, but it definitely was a shock for a lot of people, the whole turn of events that happened in that time frame. Can you maybe walk us through how that whole thing went down? When did you find out? How much time did you have to prepare, et cetera, et cetera?
Those questions, I find that I think I have a terrible memory. Maybe I get hit in the head a lot, but I do get asked questions like that a lot, like, when did you find out about this? And I'm like, I don't really remember, to be honest. I don't remember having a lot of time to prepare. I do feel, one thing that I realized recently is that, I'm sure we'll get into this eventually, but in beginning of 2018, I had a blood clot that put me out for 6 to 8 months. My next match back was the Mae Young Classic in August. So I realized that everything that has happened in this time frame, including winning the NWA Women's World Championship, all happened in less than a year. I haven't even been back wrestling for a year. So thinking of that circumstance, I feel like, yes, I have not had a lot of time to prepare for really anything.
Has everything that has happened to you in the last year been so quick that you haven't had time to process it yet? Or are there times when you look back and you say, man, I've done a lot in less than 12 months?
I do feel like I've done a lot in less than 12 months. That was a more recent realization, but at the same time, it does all happen so quickly, and I do feel like it's easy to be spread thin, Wrestlers obviously have very busy schedules, so it does take, really, when I was injured, that was, I think, a large moment of reflection for me to kind of look back on my career in general. But yes, once I came back, I kind of hit the ground running.
Let's go back and talk about that, because like you said, big moment for you in your life. Tell us about when you found out what had happened, and just kind of walk us through that moment and how you felt in that time frame.
Specifically about the NWA?
Sorry, about the blood clot. Oh,
about the blood clot, yes. That happened during Impact tapings in January of 2018. I think I'm getting the year right. And that really did come out of nowhere for me. I thought that I had either dislocated a rib during wrestling for the Impact tapings in Orlando, or I thought maybe I had pulled a muscle in my back. It kind of felt like both of those things. I talked to other wrestlers who said, it's probably a twisted rib. I've had one of those before, things like that. Definitely did not think that it was a blood clot, which is just crazy. Even on my way to the hospital, when I finally decided, yes, I need to go get this checked out because it's not getting any better, my friend suggested maybe it was a collapsed lung just because of the symptoms that I was experiencing. I wasn't able to take a full breath. When I tried to take a full inhale, at the very top of that inhale, I'd have a very sharp pain in my ribs. So that's why we were thinking, I hope it's not a punctured lung, I don't really know which one's worse. I don't know if a collapsed lung would have been better or worse, but I'm just glad to be here now, obviously, because a blood clot in your lung, which is what it ended up being, is very serious. And a lot of people don't get to go to the hospital when they experience those symptoms.
When it happens, when you're diagnosed, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Are you thinking about your career? Are you thinking about what are you going to do next? What is your mindset when you're told that?
I remember when the doctor came in, which of course was a different doctor than I had talked to 10 minutes ago, because they just keep swapping in and out. But when he came in after I got a CT scan and told me that it was a blood clot, I did not understand what that meant. And the way he said it, honestly, was a little, I don't want to say discouraging. It was just he wasn't being clear what that meant. He told me, I'm sorry to tell you, but you do have a blood clot. And he didn't really follow it up with, but everything's going to be okay or anything like that. So I'm like, okay. And so am I done or what's going on? So really, I wasn't even thinking about wrestling in that exact moment. Then I was just thinking am I going to die in 2 weeks? What are you telling me? And then after that, once I was in the hospital for 3 days, I pretty much slept the whole time. Which I didn't, I just didn't realize how much I didn't understand about blood clots. When you think about blood clots, you think you got to get up and walk around. A lot of people on that floor in the hospital were walking around, but I guess with blood clots in your lungs and things like that, they're no, just rest. Don't do anything. So it's a little different. But I was there for 3 days. And so then after that, then you start thinking of recovery, like, okay, I guess I'm not dying. I guess I can think about what I'm going to do from here, stuff like that. So yeah, then I started thinking about my career, because a huge issue with the blood clot is they want to know, is this genetic? Is it something that's just happening to you because it's in your genetics, or did something directly cause it? Because if it is in your genetics, you probably have to be on blood thinners for life. And if you're on blood thinners for life, you probably can never wrestle again. At least you shouldn't, because if you get busted open, or if you just get hit in the head and you haven't, your brain starts bleeding, it might not stop bleeding. So it's really advised against to wrestle on blood thinners, especially like heavy blood thinners. But luckily for me, it has ended up being determined that it was likely caused by something outside of my genetics.
Did you consider stopping, or was that ever a thought in your mind?
Only if it ended up being determined that I had to be on blood thinners for life, because I know that it would really be stupid of me if I would have kept wrestling that way, or if I would have come back too early before the blood thinners were out of my system. It's just not something that's really smart to risk. You know, it's not like, I mean, wrestlers are generally dumb, where when it comes to injuries, well, you can say dumb, or you can say, I don't know, we persevere, whatever way you want to look at it. But, you know, if we have like a hurt ankle or something, we'll just tape it up and be like, you're fine, just go out there. But blood clot is way different. Something, or in this case, I guess it was really not even the blood clot anymore. It was the blood thinners that are a huge risk for injury or death. So it's not a muscle or a bone that you just tape up and keep going. It's something a little more serious. So you really want to take it seriously. And I did take that seriously.
Have you ever thought about, or did this event ever make you think about, what would I do if I wasn't going to be wrestling?
Oh, absolutely. I actually started doing commentary during that time. So for Rise Wrestling, which is an all-women's promotion for like up-and-coming talent in Chicago, based in Chicago normally, rather. But I started doing commentary for that show. I'm still doing commentary for them, actually. So usually Shimmer weekends, I'll jump on commentary for Rise. I'm actually doing it at the end of June. I'll be doing commentary for them. And it's something that I was always interested in, but didn't really have a reason to start doing it out of nowhere. And it's something that I really fell in love with during that time. So I can totally see myself doing that when I'm done wrestling.
Was it something that came easy to you, or did you find there certain aspects of it to be a struggle?
I didn't find it to be a struggle. I don't want to say it was easy, because commentary is not easy. I think a lot of wrestlers think it's easy, and injured wrestler does not always equal good commentator. I can tell you that much. But I would like to think that I've been pretty decent at it. I've gotten really good feedback. Fans seem to like it. I enjoy it, and I certainly enjoy talking. So that much I can say is true. Go ahead. You're going to ask me a question.
Sorry, I thought you might have been done. My apologies. I wanted to ask a bit about Allysin Kay, the persona, the character, the person we see on television. When did you start to develop that and tweak it, and how did you come up with this idea for this person, this character that we see on television?
I don't think it's so much an idea that just came out of nowhere, or a character that's too far from who I really am as a person. I like to tell people that my Allysin Kay or Sienna character is basically who I really am on a bad day.
Can you tell us about Pinky's Up? Where did you come up with that?
Pinky's Up, it actually started when I was in a tag team with Taylor Made in Shine Wrestling, and we were called Made in Sin, so you can put that together for yourself. We did not come up with that name, but anyway, so Pinky's Up started because Taylor Made basically became a mini-me, so she didn't really have her own gimmick. She didn't really have I think she wore like a tiger striped sports bra and like black shorts, and she was just like, I don't know, whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of have a thing going with I had the high-waisted shorts, I had the spiked bra, like a pleather, trashy, whatever, trash glam look. So we basically turned her just into a mini-me, and she was cool with that. And we just looked trashy, honestly, I thought. And so that was kind of I don't want to say joke. It wasn't necessarily like, we didn't have a comedy gimmick, but that was kind of the irony in it, was that we would say that we're classy, we put our pinkies up, and we talk about being classy. At one point we came out with like these fur shawls, like we did that kind of stuff in Shine in the early days, and we would say we're classy, but really we weren't. And so it's kind of who I was before we became a tag team. We really kind of turned that into a thing when we were a tag team, and then when we stopped being a tag team, she went on and did her own thing. She's no longer wrestling. And then I'm still me. So I kept that whole thing going.
What's it like to walk into an arena and see people put their pinkies up because of you? Like like when you see wrestlers like Diamond Dallas Page, he has that diamond cutter, and everyone puts it up, and it's their way of saying, we love and respect you. And to see a whole arena full of people to do that, I mean, how does that make you feel?
It definitely is. It's pretty cool. And I will say, when I started with Impact, since I was starting a new character, I guess, kind of, which ended up turning into me anyway. But in the beginning, I'm Maria's Muscle, and I'm not Allysin Kay, I'm Sienna. So I didn't put my pinkies up when I debuted there, I don't think. Maybe on the Knockouts pay-per-view, like my actual debut, I did. But when I actually started the TV tapings as Sienna, I don't think I did, because I was like, okay, this isn't who I am here. I'll start a new thing, whatever. And then I go out, and there were fans in the audience that had their pinkies up. So I'm like, okay, I guess I should probably keep doing it then, since people are already doing it. So yeah, I just kept it going because of that, really, because fans were doing it. Why wouldn't I? Why would I say, like, never mind, you guys forget that,
How was your time working with Maria Kanellis?
I really enjoyed it. I like Maria a lot. I really do. And I'm not just saying that because it's on record. I do really love her. She's a great person. She's very talented. And she speaks up for herself, and I respect that.
So the clot happens, and then suddenly we see you again, and you're in WWE. You're part of the Mae Young Classic, much to the delight of many, many fans, including myself. How did that all come about? Was it just a call? Did you seek them out and say, hey, I want to be a part of this? How did it all go down?
I actually had a tryout with WWE in 2015, and shortly after, Impact signed me. And so I was already on WWE's radar. I was already, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, in their file. I don't know. So they reached out via email about the Mae Young Classic, and it just so happened that my contract with Impact had expired while I was injured. And we really weren't, it didn't really seem like anything was really going on with me and Impact at that point. I wasn't really getting the response I was looking for in there. So when my contract expired, and it just really all was timing. It was just timing that worked out, and I said, okay, well, this is something new, this is something exciting, and I'm going to go do it.
Tell us about the experience being there at the Mae Young Classic. What was it like? How was it different from other places you had worked? That sort of thing.
I think I got really lucky because at this point in my career, I pretty much knew everyone who was there for the most part. So that already gives you a different atmosphere. You walk in and you're like, hey, you're hugging people instead of introducing yourself to them. And that definitely makes a very different experience than I would have had, I don't know, 5-8 years ago, whatever. I got also very lucky because, my agent was one of my good friends, Serena Deeb, someone I lived in Japan with. My opponent was someone I've been wrestling for, feels like my entire career, Mia Yim, and that was an amazing first opponent to have, especially coming back after that injury. That was my very first match, was a Mae Young Classic. No pressure or anything, yeah. So I got so lucky to be with someone who I've danced with a million times.
When did you find that out? Is that like a night before thing, a week before, when they call you to say you're going to be part of it? Do they tell you, oh yeah, you're going to go against Mia? When do you find that out?
You don't find out until you're there. They definitely do not tell you that ahead of time. Maybe it was a couple days before the actual event happened. It was a very interesting situation for me because of the blood clot. Obviously I put that on my paperwork because I couldn't lie about it. It's also all over social media. If they check, they'd be like, you didn't put this on your health record. But I passed the physical exam and with no problem. But then, of course, when the doctor saw on my papers that happened, he's like, we need more paperwork from you. We need something saying you're cleared, from your doctor. I didn't have an actual note saying, this person is cleared, da-da-da. I don't know why I didn't think about that. It seems stupid to me now that I would have not thought about that. But I guess I just thought, whatever exam they need to give me, I'll pass and they'll see that I'm fine. But anyway, the fax from my doctor, from my hematologist, came through on at literally the last minute. They needed it by a certain time for me to participate in the Mae Young Classic. So even after being there, I was possibly not going to be able to participate if I didn't get that letter in time. So obviously I did, but it was I'm not even kidding, down to the 5-minute mark or something on the date and time that I needed it by. It was insane. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm here and I'm not going to be able to participate, but finally they sent it. It was very stressful and nerve-wracking. So in addition to that being my first match, I also was not able to go over anything beforehand because I could not touch a ring. I could not touch their weights. I couldn't train, nothing. I couldn't do anything there without that letter.
How frustrating, is that? As somebody who prides themselves on being an incredible athlete in that ring, to be able to sit there and watch everyone else around you prepare and not be able to. How does that feel?
I was more just worried that I was not going to be able to participate at all. I think that it was really, I don't know, I was stressed about it, but it wasn't even stress about the match itself. Because once again, I was with someone who I was very comfortable with. I was with someone who I knew, we knew each other. We know each other like the back of our hands. And also, at this point in my career, I feel comfortable enough to go out there, and if things have to be on the fly, then they can be on the fly, and that's fine. Had this been 5 years ago, I probably would have been crapping my pants. But at this point, I was like, you know what? I'd been through so much, and I was just so happy to, first of all, be alive, let alone being able to wrestle again. So, I don't know, there was just, you get to the point where you just feel like you've been through so much, you're you can't even feel stressed anymore. You're it is what it is, and I'm just going to take it as it comes.
And then you go out and you have easily the best match of the first round, if not the entire tournament. When you're in there, do you know that you're having a classic just from the crowd and the way you're feeling, or do people have to come up to you afterward and say, my God, you tore the house down?
Well, I appreciate that, first of all. I do think that I would not say that's something that goes through my mind when I'm in the ring. I definitely felt great after the match, but no, I wouldn't say that's a thought I have. I don't know. I wouldn't even want to really. I don't know. I'd want to meet the person who thinks that while they're in the middle of the match, damn, this is a classic. What? I don't know. But a lot of people have given me that feedback that it was the best match of the first round, and that's very humbling because, there were so many matches and so many crazy talented people in that tournament.
Was there ever any thought okay, I'm going to get a contract now? Was it something that you were hoping for, or was this just a matter of, well, I did it and it's cool and cross it off the bucket list?
I think that I'm the kind of person who I do like to take things as they come, and it is, especially at this point in my life, more it is what it is type thing, and it's something that I would love the opportunity, but I am also not holding my breath for anything. And it was kind of cool to kind of go in, do my thing, and then peace out, all right, you guys have fun, bye. But, I don't know, I just kind of want to see, I've always said this too, that I just want to take my career as far as I can and have fun. So wherever that leads me, I will go.
And of course, you've been taking it everywhere. You certainly have not been wanting for bookings or for appearances anywhere. You're going to be part of the summit coming up with Smash Wrestling. You'll be representing Shine there, of course. You're going to be busy, of course, defending that NWA Women's Championship everywhere you go. Is there a part of you that kind of says, God, I wish I'd get a look again from Impact or AEW, or are you satisfied right now being kind of this queen of the independents that's out there right now?
I am having a lot of fun on the indies right now. That is the truth. I am enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying my freedom. And that's not to say that I would never sign anywhere. It really, like I said, I want to take this as far as I can. I also want to have fun with it, and I want to stick to my values and my integrity. And as long as I need to either be having fun or making a lot of money. Preferably both. But right now I'm having a lot of, I can't even say right now I'm just having a lot of fun, because that's not true. I'm making money, but maybe that's the wrong way to say it, because it's not just about money, but maybe scratch that.
Let's be honest. Here's the thing. Everybody says, oh, God, if you want money, you must be a greedy person. And that's not true. Money is good. Money can help people help other people, and everybody wants it, but just no one's ever willing to admit it. So for you to want to go out there, have fun, be happy in your career, and make some money on it, geez, come on. That's what everybody wants, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that it is hard to find both in a lot of places. Usually if you're making a lot of money, you're not having all the fun, and vice versa. But right now I feel like I'm fortunate to be comfortable in both of those avenues. I'm making a living, and I'm also having fun. And my freedom is very, very important to me. And if I had to choose one or the other, I would always choose my freedom, honestly. Not saying if somebody offered me $1 million that I wouldn't take it, but you know what I mean?
Is there anything left on your bucket list? It seems like you've pretty much done it all.
I don't know. I should have made an actual bucket list, but I have done a lot, and I do feel like I'm very fortunate, and I don't think it's really hit me to realize like all the different things I've done, and worked for. I think I've worked for every major company. But yeah, I really do want to travel a lot. One of the goals that I did set for myself in 2019 was to go back overseas, and then I did. In May, I went back to Japan. I really want to go. I have like countries on my bucket list. I really want to go visit Spain. I would wrestle in Spain. I can't think of. Right now, I can't think of any other like tangible thing per se, other than like different countries I want to visit.
There's been a little bit of a debate in the women's wrestling community amongst fans, and I'd kind of like to get your take on this. There's a lot of fans out there that feel New Japan, if they hope to expand into the more global markets, that they need a women's division, and others feel like what Joshi is doing is enough, and that they've got their own thing, and then don't it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you like have a particular feeling one way or another on that?
That is actually something that I was thinking about recently, but I haven't really made up my mind on. I did see fans tweeting about New Japan needing a women's division, and then I saw Joshi tweeting, no, we're good, like check out Stardom instead, check out Diana or Tokyo Joshi Pro or Sendai Girls. So the Joshi that At seen comments on it so far seem like they're good where they're at. So like I would take their word over it because they're the ones that are over there, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I wouldn't want it to be something that's forced, because I wouldn't want it to be like, oh, okay, we're going to have a women's match because everyone's demanding it, and then it's like hokey and disrespectful or something. I don't know. If it happens naturally, then let it happen. I think that if they're just like, no, you can't wrestle here because you're a woman, I think that's also messed up. So I don't know. I can see both sides, but I don't think it's something that should be forced. I don't think it's something that should be forced because I wouldn't want it to be hokey,
Let fans know what you got going on and where they can get a hold of you.
Oh, man. I need a calendar in front of me. Okay, so my Twitter and my Instagram are both at Sienna because those are my verified names, and I haven't changed them yet. And I need to kick the people out that have the name Allysin K so I can take it. But anyway, yes, Twitter and Instagram at Sienna. And then I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/AllysinK. And there you can sign up for a bunch of exclusive content, recurring merch if you're into that kind of thing. I have a lot of cool stuff on there because, sometimes people don't need another 8x10 or another shirt. So if you want just digital content, go on Patreon. I also have a website if you want physical merch. So there's that too. And what do I have coming up? Oh, man. When is this airing?
We may even put it out next week sometime there. So, I mean, throw as many dates as you want out. If you want to check your calendar, that's fine. You can shill. If you want to grab your calendar out, I'll shill for our Patreon, too, so that when you're done visiting Allison's Patreon, you can go visit us at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you'll get this full interview, uncut and uncensored, for all of you patrons out there that have been so great for us. In the meantime, we'll just talk about this incredible run that you're having. It seems like you probably need a wheelbarrow to, like, carry all your belts around for you. You're just championing so many different companies. Have you ever thought about doing like the Ultimo Dragon where like you just collect all the women's championships and then you could call it like the Super W Cup or something like that?
Oh my gosh. Somebody was like online, I don't want to say petitioning, but I guess kind of petitioning for me to have like this championship match somewhere else. And I'm like, look, these belts are heavy, like check bags get expensive. So unless these promoters want to like pay for all my bags, no, but, let's see. What do I have coming up? I have... What is today? I'm lost.
Today's June 15th. We're actually recording this at Chinlock. That's something we can talk about. You're just here hanging out. Like, that is so cool. You're just like, I know some people. I'm going to go to, like... How do you end up in Kingston? Are you traveling with people?
I was already in Toronto, and then I have friends on the show, so I was like, I'm going to come watch, hang out. Some of my friends are like, oh, sell merch, but here's my thing. I don't think that people should sell merch on shows that they're not booked on. I think it's disrespectful. So, like, of course, I brought my gear and my 8x10s just in case they needed me on the show, because that is also an unwritten rule of wrestling. You have to bring your gear or else you're a jerk, because if they needed me and I'm just like, oh, sorry, guys, can't do anything, then that would suck. But anyway, yeah, just hanging out. But I have next week I'm going to be at Greektown Wrestling on the 23rd, and that is also in Toronto. And then the following Saturday, I have Shine in New York City, where I'm defending my Shine Championship against Mercedes Martinez. Oh, by the way, Greektown, I'm wrestling Puff and Blue Meanie. And I'm tagging with somebody named Pretty Ricky I don't even know, so that's going to be interesting.
It will be super entertaining. That's what I can tell you based upon those guys.
What? Well,
you're going to be the classiest wrestler in that tag team match. That's what I'm going to say.
That's for sure, of course. So after Shine on the 29th, I have Rise commentary in Chicago.
That's for their Pride show, correct?
Yes, that is a Pride show. That's going to be fun. I'm going on vacation in July with my family. That's exciting.
Where are you guys going?
We're going to Tennessee. And
you a big country music fan?
You know, I'm not, but my mom is, and so I was raised on country music. So like, I don't listen to it really now, but I will listen to 90s country because that's what I listened to growing up. So like, play me some Travis Tritt, some
Brooks and Dunn.
Yes, Reba McEntire. You know, I'll get rowdy to that. Okay. So,
Garth Brooks represent.
So then I have Shine again. After my vacation, I have Shine in Philly on July 13th. And then I have a bunch of, I have a bunch of other stuff coming up. And then the summit, you already mentioned.
It'll be all on your social media, too, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. It's all over my social media, Instagram stories. I have, the little highlight videos on my Instagram. So I have upcoming shows there, all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Allysin, this really was a wonderful, wonderful surprise, and I want to thank you so much. I know time's a valuable commodity, especially with someone who's as busy as you. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. As a bonus, could you just please say hi to my co-host, Jenn, because I think she'll have a heart attack if you do that. And she's not here, and she's going to hate herself, so I just want to give her a little something.
Stay classy, Jenn. Keep those pinkies up.
She's going to love you for that.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
And that's it. That's Allysin K. How awesome was that?
Amazing.
She's so great. I hope we can have her back on sometime because it's been nice to kind of watch her trajectory and see where she's gone and where she's going to go, that sort of thing. So I'm excited about that. You sound a little sad. Why are you sad?
Well, I just didn't get to meet her.
That's okay. You're going to meet Bailey.
That's true.
And I don't get to meet Bailey.
That's true.
So
it's going to totally be like a 5-second thing though, but I'm so excited.
You don't get the big platinum package where you get the 30-minute Q&A afterwards?
No, I have the VIP though. I get the front of the line. So
there's other people that will be signing that day, and then you get to go and to the front of the line. You get to be that person that everybody like me and GA will be sitting there going,
yeah.
You probably could have done it anyway just because you're pregnant. You could have just
true.
been like, pregnant lady, front of the line, let me through.
Yep, baby. Just point to my belly.
This is my past.
I'm gonna bump you with my baby belt, or I'm just gonna push my way to the front. It's either up to you, man.
I'm just gonna keep sticking my belly out and swinging with it. If you happen to get in the way, it's your own fault.
Yep.
So that's a good strategy. I like that idea.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And what you should do is you should go over to WrestleMedia.ca and check out all the cool stuff that we have there, including our newsletter. It's weekly. It's free. It gives you all the information and news you need to know about what's going down at WrestleMedia. We also have exclusive contests that live there. So if you want to get in on some cool stuff like we've given away DVDs, we've given away tickets to SummerSlam. We got all kinds of stuff in the pipeline. So be a part of it and get on it first by subscribing for free at WrestleMedia.ca. We've also got social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we are on Instagram. Please like and follow those. You know, we have a YouTube channel. You've been on it once.
Yep.
We did a small package pile driver.
Yep.
When was have you ordered any more?
No, because I don't fit in it.
You're preparing for that sort of thing?
Yeah.
That's the other thing I wanted to ask you. When you go to SummerSlam, you're going to be in this giant superstore. Do you plan on getting any merchandise or
for the baby?
For the baby.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Me and my husband, we're only buying stuff for the babies. He says he wants one shirt, and I'm like, we're good. Well, that's it.
Can you do me a favor? Seriously, can you film that? Because you and your husband shopping for baby stuff at the WWE store at SummerSlam.
I'll try to remember.
I think that'll be... Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go the same day, and I'll just spend the day filming you guys.
There you go.
because I think that would make an awesome video.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to see that video on our YouTube channel. So go there and make sure you not only subscribe, but you hit the notification bell, and then that way you'll be alerted when we're putting out a new video. You may not know this, but all of the WrestleMedia podcasts that are recorded, we put them into YouTube format. We go and we videotize that. I was going to say digitize, but even the podcast is digitized. It's all digital these days, right?
God, Adam.
I know. I'm so sorry. Of course, if you want to support us in a big, big, big way, you can do that by visiting patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. And if you do that, find the right buckets to put your ducats in, and you can get cool stuff like early access to our podcast. You can get extra stuff, extra content from our podcast, and even some extra podcasts, some stuff that only our patrons get to hear. For example, Jen and I, before we started recording Women Crush Wrestling, we recorded our quick picks for Extreme Rules. So if you want to know what we think is going to happen at the WWE pay-per-view that you likely forgot about this Sunday.
I know I did.
You can hear that on our quick picks for just a few ducats in the bucket every month. Of course, we cover other shows. I know that Jeff's hard at work trying to get some stuff for Fighter Fest that's happening this weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you're tuning in by putting a few ducats in the bucket and getting that exclusively at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. All of you Patreons who are listening to this right now, stay tuned. We got more for you coming up after the break. If you don't have a few ducks to throw in the bucket, though, there are some other ways you can support us. First and foremost, you can rate and review us. If you're listening to this on iTunes or another platform that allows you to do that, please give us 5 stars and a really great review. If not, then Jen will come over and bump you with her belly.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Simply share the podcast. Put it out on your social medias, or just go ahead and say, hey, you want to hear these two crazy people talk about women's wrestling? No? Well, here, listen to it anyway. Do that. Please force listen to them, okay? That's what... Be Jen in this situation. Take your belly out and bump somebody until they listen to the podcast.
That's right.
I think that sounds good.
I think so.
Anything else you want to say before we take it home?
No.
Then let's take it home.
All right, well, I've been just Jenny, and that's been my boy Adam.
Baby bumps.
Baby bumps.
Ain't nothing but a G license thing.
Yep, there we go. And we just crushed it.
What's the top 3 items you want to buy for your baby?
I still wish they had the Champ is Here onesie. I don't know if they still do.
Oh, that's a good one.
I need it.
You know, you should buy a t. It's too bad they don't have it in a t-shirt, because you could have the Champ is Here with an arrow pointing down to your belly.
Right.
And then you got to get those replica championship belt to put around the big baby bump, and then you have extra striking power.
That's right. And then a little one for when the baby's born.
You put a wrestling belt on your child.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
Who do you think you're more excited about having back, Kai or Nox?
Nox.
Just because you want to see more of her? Mm-hmm. More interested.
And I kind of felt like she got, shibbed. Just by life.
Shibbed?
I don't know.
What is shibbed?
You know, when life just comes and just breaks your knee.
See, I would say that
Twice.
was... I would say she got Kerriganed in that situation.
Oh, well, there you go.
Or Hardinged. No, Tanya Harding. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Kerrigan makes more
There
sense.
you go.
See, I thought you said shivving at first, which would make sense, because life comes over and stabs you a bunch of times.
That's my word.
You can't use that word. It's my word.
It's my word. I invented it.
You're not allowed to use it.
No.
Shibbing.
Shib out of here!
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.